everybody, it's me, Nate, aka Devil Dog, and I'm back with another game review. This time I'm reviewing Terrifier, the ARTcade game. Developed by Relivo and published by Select Replay. It released on November 21st of 2025 for the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, PC, and even Nintendo Switch. If you didn't notice what this is, it's a retro-style fighting game or a pixel beat-em-up on the same lines of Scott Pilgrim, if you remember that game, where you can have up to 4 different players in co-op mode and 6 different game modes set across multiple levels that are set as film sets where you and your gang are there to disrupt and destroy and stop. Now, the other thing about a game like this is it has multiple different weapons that each of the characters can pick up, and it appears like all 4 of the characters have 2 different finishers. Now, throughout this game, the levels are done up just like a normal style pixel beat 'em up game, where you go from one side to the next, go to the boss, beat the boss, and of course it has a rockin' chiptune soundtrack to go along with the in-game slaughter action. Now, the other thing I point out about this is there's multiple different versions. Once again, every single game on this market anymore has to try to bleed the pocket dry out of people to get the most amount of maximum profits and the least valuable amount of effort. This game actually has a collector's edition. What you get is a puke bag, Art and Vicky hard enamel pins, a reversible poster, bloody gameplay gloves, physical copy for the Nintendo Switch, PS5 or Xbox Series consoles, depending on what you got, your character sticker set, Art's mix soundtrack, Art's art book, premium collector's box, a special thank you letter, instruction manual, and exclusive digital content for this edition, which is how they lock the hardcore mode behind you having to buy the collector's edition. Which I do appreciate when game companies actually take the time to come out with some unique collector's item crap. So if you're going to piss away a couple $100, why not at least have something to show for it, if you know what I mean? Now, the one thing I will say I don't like about the collector's edition is they lock the hardcore mode behind collector's edition. So if you want the hardcore mode of this game, you have to get the collector's edition to unlock it. I don't like that. Oh, and it also comes with a different skin. Now, overall price for this game, fortunately, it's not that bad. At least the original version of it, it'll set you back $40 for the regular version of it, but it's $130 for the collector's edition. So just keep that in mind. If you're paying like $40 for the game and the rest is for all the collectible crap, if you're a fan of collectible crap like I am, I don't see a problem with it when you get actual tangible physical items, including a physical copy of the game and stuff. So that I'm not bothered by. It's expensive and it's stupid, but it's still a novel idea, and I always have loved collector's editions if you actually get real in-game, real-world stuff. Now, I will say this about this game. I want to go into it with an open mind. But I have played tons of side-scrolling pixel-style beat-em-ups. Everything from the upcoming Double Dragon game coming out. Scott Pilgrim, hands down, is the one thing people refer to this game as being close to, which I still say it's not in a million years. Scott Pilgrim's way, way better than this. This is very, very simplistic. Honestly, you can tell Select Replay, honestly, they just got the license for Terrifier. Why they would make a side-scrolling beat-em-up and not have it set where you go through like parts of the actual movies is beyond me. Instead of this aspect of them, they're making a movie of different parts of the Terrifier movies, and you guys are going in there destroying them and stopping them from filming it. I thought that was kind of cheesy and stupid. I really thought it was lame. Especially when most all the bosses, there's some lame guy like, oh, director number 1 and director number 2. And that's another thing. The enemies you fight are just like boring, like, okay, doctors and security guards, police officers. It has no tie-in to any of the movies other than the fact of Art the Clown and the other characters being this. It's really not that good at all. The enemies I find very boring. The plot, it's just, they took a bunch of feces and threw it at a wall and see what stuck. That's what it feels like here. The plot is a nonsensical plot that is just brought in just for an excuse to make a side scroll and beat 'em up. I do appreciate how a lot of the levels actually have branching paths that you can take that'll take you to different areas. That was kind of cool. I do like the finishers, even though honestly there's only 2 per character. And after you've seen them once, that's really it. You haven't really seen anything new to it. I don't like the ability that whenever you get knocked down, you have to mash your X button to get back up, and the enemies can actually do more damage to you while you're down. The control is very, very loose. There is no real set of moves to this. It's just punching and just moves. And like I said, limited fatalities. And the other thing that bothers me about this is, okay, this is a Terrifier game. Why in the fuck is Chris Jericho's character a playable character in this game? That makes no sense to me. Chris Jericho's character was just an orderly, a doctor in the insane asylum who gets killed rather early on in Terrifier 3. I'm sorry if I'm spoiling the movie for you. But I don't get that. The other 3 make sense, okay? The lady that was mutilated, I don't remember her name, Art the Clown, and the little girl that he imagines. Okay, I have no problem with them being playable characters. I have a big problem with Chris fucking Jericho being one of the killers in this, because he wasn't really a bad guy in the movies. He wasn't a good guy, but he wasn't a murdering bastard like the rest of these guys are. But honestly, I'll have to say, can I sit here and say that Terrifier, the ARTcade game, is good? No, it's not. It really isn't. You can tell it's a cash grab, that they got the license and they're like, what can we do? I am a fan of side-scrolling pixel art beat-em-ups, and the pixel art in this is well done. The characters are big, and you can't tell who they are. The animation, for what it is pretty decent. But like I said, in between that, with the clunky, slow controls, the lack of different multiple fatalities, the fact that all they can do is every time you kill an enemy, a bunch of pixelated blood splatters on the screen every 2 seconds. It's boring, it's mundane, and this is not a good game, especially for the price tag of $40. I would have to say, if this was a $14 game, I would probably not be so hard on it. This seems perfect for the price of $14.99. Maybe even $9.99, really, because it's not that long. You're only going through like 6 to 8 different levels. They have branching paths, but the bosses are just not really that well thought out, not original at all. The fact of like how this really has nothing to do with the Terrifier movie series, other than the fact that these characters are showing up on these film sets trying to stop them from making Terrifier TV show or movie or whatever the hell they're doing. Honestly, I played through this. I chuckled a couple times with it. First couple times of seeing the fatalities are kind of funny and cute. But after that, it just became long, boring, drawn out. It's actually exceptionally difficult, too. I mean, you only get 3 lives before you're dead. And in this, these enemies do come and they gang up on you. So it actually is a pretty challenging game, I'll give it that. But if that's the only thing I can give it, that's really all it's going to get. I would have to say, for this price, the game length, I would not buy this. I would wait until it's on sale for like $10 or $15. I'd say it's worth it for that price, but it's definitely not worth it for $40. And once again, I do love collector's editions. The game itself sucks, but all the stuff you get with the collector's edition, I honestly, I'd say I kind of think that's cool and I would want it. Maybe not the barf bag, but you know, for $130 though, I think that's still excessive for the items that you get for the collector's edition. But at least you actually get tangible physical items. But in the end, with the bad plot, the terrible character designs, the challenging aspect of the game is really the best part of it. But the lack of a decent amount of moves that you have, different playable fatalities, and the fact there's only 4 playable characters, and one of them is Chris Jericho, I would have to say definitely, no, this game is not worth it. It's not a good game. If you get it for free, if it's a game of the month or something, you can play through it, yes, but I don't think it's worth the price they're asking. But that's just my personal opinion. Please leave in the comments below if you agree or disagree with me on this. Do you actually think this is a good game or not? Do you think for a Terrifier game, why can't they do something a little bit better with it? I'm not saying go the route of Friday the 13th, the game with it. I'm so tired of that with 1 versus 4 shit anyhow. But honestly, could you imagine if they actually made this to where you were like trying to escape the different areas of the movies as Art the Clown is trying to kill you? And there's so many other things they could have done with a license for Terrifier instead of slapdash together a delayed Side-scrolling pixel art beat 'em up. Seriously, this game's been delayed multiple times. But in the end, no, I cannot say that this is worth the price. This is obviously just a cash grab for the license of Terrifier. It does nothing to elevate Art the Clown or any of the minions to a higher status. I really think that this was probably a bad choice for a first game for Terrifier. I mean, it makes sense of beating up and shooting and stabbing, but in the end, that's not what Terrifier series is about. Art the Clown is not about this. Art the Clown is about disturbing, massive gore. And this just doesn't cut it for me. That's my own personal opinion. Please leave in the comments below if you agree or disagree with me on this. Please give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Please subscribe and like my channel. And of course, here at Devil Dog Gaming, we always end our videos by saying, have fun, play hard, and remember, people, the devil is in the details. Peace out until next time.